Hi, welcome to NDE TV. I'm Peggy Robinson. Today's guest is Angie Wesner, and she has a very interesting near-death experience story. So Angie, this just started like a normal day, and bam.
Yes, it started like a normal day. I was in nursing school. I came home. I was living in a housing project, so I wanted to close the shades. To be honest, I wanted to smoke a little ganja. I didn't want anybody to see.
Is that
Marijuana.
pot? Okay.
Yeah, pot.
Okay.
I don't know what they call it nowadays.
I don't either.
I wanted to smoke a little bit, so I closed all the blinds. And I was reading my book, and I felt something biting me. I didn't know what it was, but I have a very high tolerance for pain, so I figured it'll just go away. So I kept reading my book, and it actually felt more pain. So I got up, and there was a spider. So I swished it off the bed, didn't think anything of it, went back to reading. I'd say maybe 1 or 2 days later, on my way to school, I don't know how I got there. I don't know what happened when I was there. I don't know. I don't know how I got home. I just know that I was home. My ex came in. We were talking, and then I was out. I came to in the ambulance. Didn't know what was going on. Was out again. Went to the hospital. The hospital tried to discharge me. I started screaming and swearing in multiple languages, and they were like, "Oh my God, we can't leave her out here. Let's bring her back."
Was that because you didn't feel you needed discharge, or you were just out of your mind?
No, they hadn't checked me. I knew they hadn't checked me because
So you
if
knew
they
something
had,
was
they would
wrong.
have saw the bite. Oh yeah, I could feel it.
Okay.
And I was like, "Please just check over here for me." And I rolled over, and all I heard was, "Go get the doctor." And the doctor told her to cut. She started cutting, and then she said, "Oh my God, go get the doctor again." The doctor came in, and that was pretty much all I remember, except for my NDE. I did not know that. I just found the paperwork 2 days ago that I had died twice on the table. I thought it was just once, and I thought it was just from, having something traumatic happen to your body. I did not know I actually died. The first feeling I got was like a giant hand reaching into my soul. And, people say that all the time, but I'm not one of those people. So this was a little scary at first, but I felt warm and content, not happy, content. And I was shooting towards what looked like the sun at an unfathomable speed. It was just, I can't explain it. It was so fast. And we stopped right before the sun. And it was kind of white, then yellow. And we just stopped. And I could see it. And then the next thing I know, I was crawling like this. And I couldn't understand where I was or what was going on. My legs felt trapped. I was in a space, about this wide, just enough for my body, and I'm very claustrophobic. And then I saw a light, and the light came closer, and it looked like a goat man, half goat on his hind legs with a torch. And you think that would have freaked me out, but it didn't. I was weirdly calm until I looked behind me and I saw what my legs were stuck in. If I knew how to draw, I would draw it because I can't really explain it. It had my legs in its mouth, whatever it was.
Oh.
And to me, it felt like there was something more to it. Now that I think about it, I think hell was in its belly, and I just didn't want to be there. I needed to get out of there. What bothers me is that when I went to the sun, I didn't see anybody. Not my sister, not my father. I didn't see anybody. I didn't see anything but the sun. Okay, I chalked that up to the first time. I got poked in the head, and I woke up because it was annoying. And she told me, stay with me. We're losing you. I guess that was the second time. They gave me morphine. I didn't know I was allergic to morphine.
My
You
God.
don't know till they give it to you. So now they're losing me for another reason. And it's, I've always said I don't like people. I want to be alone. And I've spent a lot of my time alone with just my kids. I don't talk to people outside. I don't leave my house. I don't go anywhere. That's not what you want. That's not what you want. I was in space and it was beautiful. I had full consciousness. I was like spinning around, and one by one, the stars started to go out and complete darkness took over. You do not know what complete darkness is. Oh my God, people just don't know. And it was completely pitch black. You couldn't see in front of you. You couldn't hear anything. I was screaming. I couldn't hear anything. I was so alone in the dark and I was so afraid. And, why would we have these feelings? I don't understand. But
I
I
was
do
alone in the
agree.
light, beginning of my
Really?
NDE at first.
See, when I went to the light, I swear somebody was with me. I couldn't see them, but I swear I could feel a hand on my shoulder. I used to have nightmares about my son. I have a severely autistic son. He's nonverbal. There was a show out called A Thousand Ways to Die. I mean, that was in the 90s. I had my son in the mid 2000s, but that's what I used to dream. Thousands of ways for my kid to leave this planet. Since I've had that experience, I haven't had one nightmare. Since I have that experience, I've changed my ways. I was a really bad person. I was a really bad person. The kind you only see on TV. Do you think they don't exist? Yeah, they do. Yeah, I was one of them. I was hooked on drugs, which wasn't the problem. The problem was my attitude. I was a very angry person. I had a little over a dozen people taken from me within 4 months of each other in the fall of 91. So that's when everything set off. But I have not, I've been such a good person. I've beat people up. I'm from the Bronx. You take what you want and you fight for what you have. And that's just how anywhere in New York is. White Plains, Mount Vernon. You gotta protect what you have, or you'll lose it and possibly your life. And after this experience, I gotta tell you, I don't want to die. I don't want to go into the light. I don't. I want to stay here. I love looking at the intricate veins on the leaves. Someone made that. How beautiful is that? That didn't just pop up out of nowhere. Sorry, I'm not into the Big Bang, but someone made the Big Bang. But anyway, I just, my religion has also changed. That kind of changed with the death of my sister, but it did not bring me closer to anything but God. Not Jesus, not the Holy Ghost. I'm past that. Just God. That is all I believe in, is the Almighty. There is one above all. And it's better to pray and not be a God than to not pray and there be a God. So that's how my mom has always taught me. So, and that I believe has helped. Every time I get angry, I think about this thing that my legs were in. I don't want to go back there. I want to roll down a hill on my belly, laughing with my son for eternity. That's my heaven.
So what happened there? I mean, so something had your legs in its mouth, and then
Yes.
what? Then what happened? I missed something.
I just kept trying to get out of its mouth. And then I woke up to her hitting me in the head, telling me I was allergic to morphine. So I don't.
Okay.
I am about to be in talks with a therapist, a hypnotherapist, because there seems to be a lot of missing time. I don't know if it's missing because I saw something I don't want to remember, or and that's looking like the case.
So
Because
even
I
though
was
the
just
paperwork says you had died twice, you just remember the first, or you just remember one near-death experience, correct?
yeah,
Okay.
yes. I just remember going under the knife and that was it. And then she woke me up to tell me I was allergic to morphine, and then I was out again.
I don't think we remember
But I
every near-death experience, because with my second NDE, I died all night long, but I don't remember the first time when I had a near-death experience. After that, I would just like pass out and I wake up like, God, I know you can't keep doing this. You can't keep bringing me back, as if God can't do something. But it was my thought. You can't keep me
right.
awake, till morning till the doctor comes, but I really need you to. But so yeah, I mean, we don't have a near-death experience every time we die.
That's interesting. I just like the way it was. To me, I see it as jokes. If you were raised the way I was, you would know the Old Testament was not nice. So as far as I'm concerned, it's jokes. It's the movies I watch. They're like, hey, you want to see something funny? Watch this. Boom. I got pregnant when my oldest was 16, told I couldn't have any more kids, never had a care in the world. And not only was I pregnant, I was 6 months pregnant. He never moved, never. And then, we found out he was autistic. But that was a kind of scary situation. But, it's just waking up and seeing the priest giving me last rites. And I think it's not coincidental that I lost my faith and then woke up to a priest giving me last rites.
Oh, that
I think
happened.
he was, yeah, I think he was sent there by God. Because I mean, why is it that I lose my faith and he's there? They could have called anybody. They could have called nobody. But my ex was like, yeah, she's Catholic. Call him. And I was just talking to my mom about it and why I didn't tell her.
So what did you do
Because
when
it
you
just,
woke up and you have this memory of this being in this monster's mouth, like he's dragging you to hell?
I did not think I was awake, actually. For about a day and a half, I didn't think anything was real. I thought I was going to get pulled back. I thought it was, you've been a bad person all your life, so we're going to show you what you're missing. And this is it. And missing this earth would be my hell. Because I have never thought about it before, but since this, I love the trees. I love the grass. I love the clouds. Can we sit outside and just stare at nature for hours? That's just me now. There's always an excuse. There's always a silver lining. There's always good somewhere in the bad. You just got to find it.
Do you know what it was about that experience that makes you different now? That makes you
Yeah,
like
I don't want
that?
to go to hell. I'm
Okay.
50. I got one foot in the grave. I'm not trying to go to hell. You know, I
So,
want to be with my kid.
okay. So you weren't enjoying life, and now you just like see how precious life
Oh,
is and
right.
appreciate
Yes.
it.
I was alive, but not living. I'm still trying to get there, but yeah, no, I was having a grand old time using people, doing whatever I wanted to do, hurting people. It was just everything was fun for me. I was like, my mom always said, when you succeed at something and you're good at it, you should excel. Well, I was a number one asshole. I was really good at it, and I'm not anymore. It's, if I see somebody on the street, it's not they deserve to be there. They ruin their life. It's no, let me help you up. Do you need something to eat? I got spare change. I look at things so much differently now.
Was you like that before, just because your environment? I mean, New York. I mean, was it just where you lived? It was just the way everybody was.
I was a very sheltered kid until I graduated high school. When I graduated high school, it all went downhill. It all went downhill. The divorce, the people moving and leaving, and everybody going everywhere. I was like, my home fell apart, and then my sister was killed, and then I turned into this, and that
Were you
was
angry
me.
at God then?
Oh, I wanted to die. I know this is sacrilege, but I wanted to die so I could get him in a boxing ring, because I thought, how dare you? And I mean, and to take all of them, they were so innocent. But life happens, and you can't blame God. Just like you can't blame your parents for your past. And how long should they hold on to that? You just gotta let it go, and know that one day I'll see her again. Because this is not this is a plan. I'm telling you, this is a plan. But it has to be, because But a lot of people have said to me that they don't believe in hell,
I hear that
and that
too. They're wishful
and that you
thinking, I think.
and you can work it. My favorite is the Dante's Inferno. You can work your way out of hell. I don't like that either. So you're telling me mass murderers can work their way out of hell? You tell me the man that killed my sister and 3 of her friends can work his way out of hell?
So your
I
sister
don't
was
want to hear.
murdered. I can imagine the anger.
I don't want to hear that. And then what's stopping me from finding his mother, his children, his wife? You know, I mean, you
And
can't blame.
movies are full of that. It's all about revenge and being right in getting it, being the hero of the story because you got the revenge. I mean, something horrible happens and they're the bad guy, but then it seems like the good guy ends up being the bad guy because he's out to kill and maim. It's like we need
Well,
different movies.
yeah, we went to Florida, which is where my sister was killed. We went on vacation. Where were we? Clearwater, I think we were. And I borrowed a car, and I went to Tampa, and which is where my sister was killed. And it's funny because I didn't go there to see where she was killed. I went there to see his son. I figured, let's let him see what he did to me. And I went into a 7-Eleven, and it just happened to be right behind where my sister was killed. And I was like, oh my God, I'm here. There are the crosses. How did I get here? And I was like, this is not what I'm here for. And it was maybe 2 years after that I started being a really bad person, really bad. And I don't, again, like I said, if I could explain that thing to you, um, and there was no pain. I got to tell you, there was no pain. It was just my feet felt stuck, but it was chewing on me. And it was up to my thighs before. I don't know how I got out of there. I don't know what happened. I just know that I woke up and they're yelling at me, and that was it. I don't,
And it was all
I don't,
blackness.
yeah,
And
yeah,
you were alone, other than this thing, like you felt.
right. And he didn't even look at me. And you could call him a goat man, but the only thing manly about him was that he was walking on 2 legs. That's it. Everything else was a goat, the face, everything. And the torch, he went away. And the only thing I could think of was I had to get out before the torch went away. I don't know why.
Huh.
And then that's when they were jabbing me in my head, telling me I'm allergic to morphine.
Was this goat man bad? I mean,
He didn't seem bad. I felt nothing about him. No meanness, no happiness. He was just there. It was like he was just there to shine just enough light for me to see my legs, because it wasn't a bright light. It was really dim, but it was just enough. I couldn't really see in front of me, but I could see where my legs were. And it was gross. There was slobber everywhere. And like I said, I knew its belly was bad. Like maybe that's where hell was. And I feel like I was shown both places, not, oh, this is hell where we torture people. You know, I was shown that this could be hell in here and this could be heaven here. You're not getting into either place. And which is good because I got sent back. But I just don't know why I didn't see, you know, God or my sister or my dad. I
Well,
just didn't
it
see
seems like
anybody
we
there.
all have the experience we're meant to have that we can learn from the most, changes the most. And they're so different. And yours is apparently what you needed because it worked.
It did. It really did. I am a changed person. Um, it's like I said, I haven't had any nightmares about my son since then. Um, I'm, I think I'm more emotional now, though. I tend to want to protect all the children around me. You know, if I can, I'm there for them. You know, instead of throwing away clothes that have holes in them, I'll try to sew them and then donate them.
Now, you said something about watching A Thousand Ways to Die and you thought of your son. What was that a fear that you would lose your son, or what was that?
Um, that was one of my biggest fears. My son was born, he was 3 pounds, 4 ounces. He was, you know, he was a tiny, tiny little guy, fit right in the palm of your hand. And we've almost lost him so many times when he was younger, too many to count. And I guess that kind of stuck with me, you know, and in color, because he wore a bright red jacket on the last one. But yeah, it's just, it's horrible. It's plus it's also where you live, because most of the ways he died was in the city on the subway.
Were these
So
dreams? What do you mean?
they were nightmares.
Okay.
They were all nightmares that stopped when I had my NDE. I
Uh,
used to beg for medicine that would stop me from dreaming. I used to try to stay awake as long as I can. I would try drugging. I would try drinking, anything that would stop these nightmares. And I couldn't find any help. Not one doctor, no one. And I thought, well, if I take my life, they'll stop.
it sounds
And
like you
but
were
then
being tormented before you died.
I was told, well, actually, this is how I see it. Might not be for everybody, but I see it as the ones that use drugs the most, you know, the hard drugs. We're not doing it because we're sad. A lot of people, oh, you must be sad to do drugs. That's not it. It's a feeling that we're missing, that we're lacking, that we get from the drugs. What if that feeling is from before we were born and we're trying to get that feeling back and we can't? That love feeling, that feeling that you have when you're in heaven before you come to earth. That's how I see it.
I don't know. I used to be an addictions counselor, and honestly, I never did understand, where they're coming from, because I've not been addicted. And some of them would say, well, we need people here that's been addicted to understand us. But then the counselors can't be addicted because being around addicted people talking about drugs all day would make them want to use drugs again. So, you know,
I think it depends on the person, because I'm a cold turkey person. I smoking for 30 years. Cigarettes, threw them in the garbage, walked away, never looked back. Same thing with drugs. I'd been doing them for so long. Crack was my favorite. I had so much and I was so disappointed in myself. I gave it away. I gave everything away that night, walked away, never looked back. That's 13 years ago.
this was after the NDE.
Uh, that's I don't consider pot a drug.
Oh, well, I mean,
But
no,
no,
no, I
that
don't mean
was
that. I
before
mean,
the NDE.
when was your NDE? How long ago?
April 2010.
Okay. No,
It
I'm not.
started.
that. But
April's when I started school. May 10th was the day I entered the hospital when I got bit. That was the day I entered the hospital. And by then I had sepsis. And then what did I catch in the hospital? MRSA?
oh no.
I had MRSA. It was so horrific that they couldn't stitch me up. They had to leave me open. And the scar, it was just, whoa. I saw that in the mirror. I was out.
Where did this spider bite you at?
On my butt.
I thought so.
Yep. Yeah, I guess it's the best place to get bit, because if you're going to be disfigured, you better be under the clothing so people can't see.
I have a sister-in-law that died, not exactly from MRSA, but it started a long illness after that in nursing homes, and just didn't, her heart issues, but it started with MRSA. She almost died of it, and then she ended up dying of some heart issue. But yeah.
If I could say anything to anybody, it would be to tell them to be kind. Because you don't want to go where I went. You really don't. I mean, it was more of a matter of fact kind of feeling. So I'm thinking I might have been there before. I don't want to go there. I saw a movie called What Dreams May Come.
Yeah.
And I hoped and prayed that's what heaven would be like. That movie came out right after my sister was killed. Oh. So I thought, that must be what heaven's like. It's so beautiful. I didn't see any of that. I wish I did.
But some of us that tend to be suicidal, I don't think we're going to be shown those things, because we're going to just take something and go. I mean, certain personalities can't handle that. So I think we're all given the experience that we were meant to have, that we can learn the most from. And it's like, being a parent and you have all these children, what, works for one isn't going to work for the other. Like even your son, what would,
right.
So we're all different, and where we're at in our life and our circumstances, and where you were at, apparently is exactly what you needed to change your life around.
I'm glad it happened, because I could be dead. I moved to a state that has no gun laws. I could have been shot at any time, fighting anybody. So, it's a good thing. And it's, I was just talking to my mother. I never realized that living in the Bronx, we could have been killed by a falling air conditioner. I moved to New Hampshire. I get bit by a spider, and I'm fighting for my life. It's just, I blame my neighbor, because these spiders aren't from here, and she had just moved from the Midwest, and that's where the recluses are. I was like, you brought it here in your bag. I was like, that's it, you owe me a drink.
It's funny.
Shirley
well,
Temple,
it's meant to be, apparently.
Anymore.
Apparently that spider was meant just for your butt.
Yeah. I'm just disappointed I don't spin any webs. Like Spider-Man.
Okay. Well, I appreciate you coming on. I know you have a sick child today. And good luck. Keep up your light now that you're in it, instead of that darkness.
Yeah. And I appreciate being given the two, being shown the two places. I appreciate that. Like I said, I wasn't allowed to enter, because what you're saying might be correct, that if I was shown heaven, I might wanted to let go and just go. But what gets me the most is I didn't think about my kids. And that breaks my heart. Why didn't I think about my kids? Why did I feel content? Why? I should have been, no, I don't want to go. I want to go back. Not like the movies. But thank you for giving me the opportunity to tell my story.
You're welcome. Enjoy your day.
Thank you. You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye.